They always talking about mistakes.
Testing. We in there.
All right.
Welcome to Brunch with Besties podcast.
Hey guys.
I am Sherry Renee.
And I'm Chanel.
Our mission is to heal and help others as we heal and help ourselves through purpose-driven conversations.
Yep.
Today we're talking about mistakes.
Yes.
Because your girl made a few.
Plenty. Plenty.
So we're going to talk about them and, figure out what we've learned.
There we go.
But before we get into that, in true brunch with Besties fashion, we are going to start with a toast. So Chanel, who are you toasting to today?
Since it's so fresh in my mind, I'm just going to give my toast to the Good News Radio family. We just got off a call with them, so shout out to everybody over there. It was a great meeting, and yeah, shout out to them for allowing us to continuously be on their platform, which is really dope.
Amen. And check out the Good News Radio hat that I'm rocking.
There we go.
Yes, my toast is going to go to, who's it going to go to?
Today, right.
It's going to go to my niece because her birthday's coming up, and the girl's going to be 3.
Oh, niece.
Yep,
pumpkin.
my little pumpkin, she gonna be 3, so the toast goes to her.
Happy birthday.
Yes, because it's her birthday.
Awesome. Aw.
So girl, let's break bread.
Okay.
Your girl is still quarantining.
Right, we are still on lockdown, however, Wisconsin is going through some things politically.
Talk about it.
So the Supreme Court in Wisconsin was like, nope, we're gonna reject this safer at home. No, it's so the Supreme Court was like, that's out. However, the mayor, shout out to Tom Barrett, was like, no, I still want y'all to be safer at home, basically. There are a few businesses that are slowly starting to open up, especially like salons and, things like that. But for people, just be smart, be safe. But that was a big issue. So I'm still going to quarantine myself. Schools are not being reopened, which is really good. But I think that goes until June 30th. So I don't know what summer school is about to look like. But still, I'm a little concerned about all of that. So that's what's been going on with me. Just trying to follow what the order looks like at this point. Not so much like really hearing about coronavirus all the time, because that was a little overwhelming for me. And it was like freaking me out. So, but I did want to know like what was safe and what's not safe, what's opening and what's not going to open. I will also say that tonight there's a versus that I'm really excited about. Hope you all will watch it. But Ludacris versus Nelly is like our high school years. Like it's gonna be fun.
2005.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Like I am
lit. Back to the early 2000s.
Listen, where is our apple bottom jackets and our coats with the fur hoods and all of that? Like we just gotta get ready. So I'm excited about that. And also, dang, I should have said this in my toast, but shout out to Queen Bee, Bridget Robinson, and everybody a part of Blank Space Milwaukee. They did Black Restaurants Week in Milwaukee, which has been a thing. So I've had the opportunity to try Retox, which I had never been there, and the food was okay. It was pretty good. So shout out to them for highlighting like Black small businesses, especially during this time, especially those restaurants who are getting hit pretty hard. So
Yes. So girl, for my breaking bread, your girl is still quarantining and she's still working from home and she's still studying for the PMP child.
Yes.
And she got up bright and early on this fine Saturday morning to study.
Listen.
And I'm just taking it day by day. That's all I can do. I can only do what I can do, and I'm just taking it day by day, and that's all I'm committed to doing.
Hey.
So that's where I am.
Nice.
Yes.
That's what's up.
So now it's time for the tip.
All right.
So, child, what are we reading?
We are reading Relationship Goals by Pastor Mike Todd.
Yes, and you can read along with us for free using our free 30-day trial code www.audibletrial.com/BWB. BWB is in Brunch with Besties. Read along with us. Join in on the conversation. Relationship Goals.
Yes.
Okay?
Get that. Get your life.
So now it's time for tea time. Child, we talking about mistakes.
Here we go.
So, okay, how would you define a mistake? What are we saying mistakes are?
Wow. So I'm going to be semi-deep, like a little bit, but I think mistakes are things that you do or, you know, the course that you take when you're trying to follow your own way and not the purpose over your life is what I'm going to boil it down to.
So you think it's a mistake whenever you're doing something or engaging in something that's not, it doesn't fulfill the purpose of your life?
Absolutely, yes.
Okay. I think mistakes mean if you could do it again, you wouldn't.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I'm thinking mistakes are.
Yeah.
Which could be because it doesn't align with the purpose for your life.
There we go. It does not serve you.
Doesn't serve you.
Yeah. I agree. I agree. If it doesn't serve you, it's a mistake. Hey. Point blank, period.
Okay, but there are some things that don't serve you immediately, but you learn from them and therefore they serve you.
Okay.
You know, and to me, those are the things where it's like, hey, if I could do it all over again, I would,
Right?
Because the outcome was bigger than the suffering in the moment, right?
For sure.
So, okay, so I think we agree on what mistakes are. It means I wouldn't do it again.
Yeah.
And it didn't serve me.
It didn't serve me. Absolutely. I agree.
Okay.
So there we are.
Here we are. So, we're going to start with you, child.
Yeah.
What was the biggest mistake?
So, I've talked about this on a number of episodes. It's just one of those things where I really wish, like, I could rewind time and be like, no, I don't want to do it. Oh, turn my body. That's smart. There we go. Forgetting we're recording today on another device. But anywho, one of the things that, you know, I constantly think about, and I'm like, girl, why did you do that? Like, you just ruined your whole life. And it kind of, like, trickled down and started, like, this domino effect of my whole life. And now I'm in the process of rebuilding. So, a couple years ago, in, like, 2016, I was like, you know what? I'm over Milwaukee. My husband don't live here. I just need to go. I need to escape. My kid's father had gotten married, and just my own relationships just were not working. It was a bunch of BS, for lack of better words, people playing around. So I was like, I'm just gonna run away. And that's what I did. I moved to North Carolina. I got up, and, you know, thinking about it now, it was definitely like, girl, you forced that whole move to even go there. Because while I was doing it, you know, I applied for a job, and I applied for jobs, like, everywhere. Like, in Charlotte, in Durham, in Dallas, like, I was just applying for all these jobs, like, okay, somebody give me an opportunity so I can get out of Milwaukee. So then I heard back from this school in Durham, and I'm like, okay, Durham, like, I wasn't too familiar with Durham. I just knew that, you know, Duke was there, the University of North Carolina was, like, there, but I'm like, I don't know, but they were giving me a chance. And the principal, he was black, he was cool, he was a Catholic, so I was like, okay, this might be a good sign. Like, I think I'm gonna go. So then, I'm like, okay, I need to go out there to see what it's like. Like, I'm just gonna try to see, you know, find somewhere to live, see if this is a good place for my son, because eventually, like, I want him to come out there and live with me. So, the night that we're getting ready to go there, I had got a rental car, and the rental car lights, like something with the light, like the light switch or something, like, didn't work. So I'm like, I cannot drive from Wisconsin to North Carolina in this car. Like, I'm going to get pulled over. That's not going to work. So that should have been sign number one. Like, bro, don't go. But me being me, I was like, all right, let me think of something else. So then I just hop in my car, like, you know, I told this guy I was going to come out here. I just have to go. So then I drive my car, which my car is an old Camry with a gazillion miles on it, and I should not have been driving anywhere.
Shout out to Toyota, because they will keep you
rolling. Toyota will keep you rolling forever. But I shouldn't have taken that trip in my car. Like, no. But by the grace of God, God is good all the time. We made it to North Carolina and back. But while I was there, you know, like, the scenery was nice. Don't get me wrong. Like, I wouldn't mind. I'll visit Durham any day of the week. I'll go back. But to live there, like, I knew in my heart of hearts, like, it just didn't feel right. But I ended up finding an apartment. They didn't have my bank out there either, which was another issue. So I was trying to get a money order to do a security, like a deposit for this apartment that I found. They didn't have my bank, so I had to find like this place to get like a cashier's check or whatever. So that was like flag number 2. Like your bank wasn't out here, the money wasn't working, like you forcing it, like you still going above and over what you need to do. So then I get the apartment, I come back home, I say all my goodbyes to my friends and my people, my family and my kid. Then I go back out there to move in. And when I get there, like for the first day, like I have to stay in like this raggedy motel, just me by myself. And it was like really sad and depressing. But I was like, I'm just gonna do it, thugging it out.
Toughing it out?
I was thugging it out. So I was like, I gotta do this to, have my fresh start. But then I ended up staying with some friends, some besties. So shout out to Tasha, shout out to Maya. Ended up staying with them in South Carolina. Just having a good time, being around people who I knew and it was familiar. So then the time came for me to move into my apartment. So I get to North Carolina, and yeah, the apartment was nice. I will give it that, but there was a lot of bugs that I was not used to. Those were not Wisconsin bugs. So that
some new spiders.
That was new. Those are new spiders, new insects. I don't even know what genre they were. They were just new, and I was like, yeah,
I'm familiar with them.
I was like, nope, this ain't it. Like, I didn't have any furniture. Like, I didn't have anything. Like, I had, like, clothes and, like, stuff that I could fit in my car. Whatever. So, yeah, then I started work. Like, for me, like, when I first started a job, like, it's exciting. Like, I'm like, okay, I got this. I can do this. But then as the days went by, I was just like, I hate it here. Like, I hated the school. I hated the politics of the school. I miss my friends. I miss my son. So every day, like, it started to get worse, and it was, like, really, really depressing. But then I ended up meeting another young lady from Milwaukee who lives out there. So she was very helpful during that time. Like, let's go kick it, let's go hang out, like, stuff like that. So that was good. But other than that, that was one thing where I'm like, girl, you spent 6 months out there when I could have been building and doing what I needed to do here in Milwaukee and not just trying to run away from things that I thought, I needed to run away from. Because, I mean, now I know, and in hindsight, my son's dad getting married, like, that didn't have any reflection on me. He was doing what he needed to do to make himself happy. Like, that didn't mean that I needed to go run off and run away from the world, basically. Or even just guys that I was talking to, I should have just been like, all right, we're done, and I'm going to continue to build my life here. Because I think I was setting myself up in a pretty good position while I was here. And then when I got out there, like, I had to get the credit card. I was maxing out credit cards, trying to pay for stuff because the money just wasn't right. So then it kind of went downhill when I got there. But when I was here, I was doing pretty well. So that's always something that I think about. Like, I wonder what...
So you regret it?
I do. I regret it. And I think that is one of, my biggest mistakes. And not only that, I'm a mom. So the 6 months that I took away from my son, like, I can't get that time back. And it was very rough for him. He was staying with his father full time. And his dad is a great dad, don't get me wrong. But it's nothing like having your mom around, too. Like, being able to see your mom whenever you want to. And how that affected him is when he was at school, he was turning up at school. Yes, he was cutting up. I mean, it was like every day the teacher was like, well, Michael did this and Michael did that. And I'm like, girl, what are you doing? But now I know why he was acting out. It's like, well, why my mama not here? Like, and I kind of told him, like, well, I'm moving out here and you're going to come too. But as I started to hate Durham, I was like, my son is not coming out here. Like, I need to try to find a way to get out of all of this and go back home. And that's pretty much what I did.
Okay, and that's what you did. So, when did you know that it was a mistake?
When did I know?
When did you have the light bulb go off and you was like, oh, hell nah, I done messed up.
Yeah.
I done up and done it.
Yeah, when I checked my account and I didn't have, like, after paying my rent, my car note, paying bills, and I had, like, $0 to my name, like, I didn't have money to buy food, that's when I was like, okay, you doing too much. Like, you tripping. You can't even take care of yourself out here because the way they get paid out there is we got paid once a month. Y'all, she don't budget. So once a month doesn't work for her. Like, no. Like, it seems like you have this big lump sum of money that you're getting, but then when you delegate it out and you have to pay bills and, everything that you're responsible for, it leaves you with nothing. So trying to do that was awful. So really, like, not being financially where I would have liked to been, that's what threw me off, because it was like, you didn't even get this pay when you were teaching in Milwaukee, so why are you doing this out here? Like, you got better pay where you left, and you came out here to get less.
What were you looking for in Durham? Or what were you looking for? Maybe you weren't even looking for Durham, but what were you looking for outside of Milwaukee?
I was trying to escape. Like, I just wanted to start over. I felt like if I leave, then, you know, I'm going to meet this guy, and it's going to be great. Like, I'm going to meet new people who don't know me, and this is going to be a great time. I'm going to start over. That's basically what it was. Like, just trying to escape, you know, things that I didn't want to see. Like, oh, my son's father's getting married. I don't want to see that, so I'm going to leave. Like, I don't want to be a part of that. Because I was salty at the time. But, again, that didn't have nothing to do with me. He did that for himself. And, you know, it takes time and, you know, the ability to mature to realize, like, you're running away from stuff that don't have anything to do with you.
And you're trying to run away from you.
Right.
You know, like, one thing my mom always says, and she said this when my friend Toyana moved, because she kept moving. Mm-hmm. And my mama just said, all right, now, you tell Toyana, wherever she goes, she got to take her with her.
That is true. You do. Like, that, the demons that I had within myself, or the insecurities, or, you know, the lack that I had with myself did not go anywhere when I got to North Carolina, because I was still doing stupid stuff with my finances, and it was just a mess. Like, I was still, like, entertaining clowns. So all the stuff that I said I didn't want to do here, I was doing there. It was just magnified by 100 because I didn't know anybody.
Right.
And it was just depressing. Mm. So, yeah.
So what are the purpose of mistakes?
Definitely to teach you a lesson. I think, you know, we think of doing something like that, or just doing something in general. So, you know, if I don't know, cheat on a test or something and I get caught, like, that's a mistake. Like, I could get kicked out of school. So then you have to worry about, like, the repercussions of that. So I think for me, moving and trying to run away, like, the repercussions of that is I came home to plenty debt. I didn't have a job when I came back home, but God is so good that, you know, I bounced right back. As soon as I got home, I bounced right back, which is the crazy part. And now, you know, it's taken me, that was in 2016, it's 2020 now, so it's taken me 4 years to recover from that financial blow. Like,
how long were you there?
I was only there for 6 months.
So it cost you 4 years.
Yes,
for 6 months playing with Durham.
For 6 months playing with Durham. So, yeah, like, I'm just now, like, paid off all the debt from that time in my life.
Yeah. So, you know, I think I want to change my definition of mistakes.
Okay.
When the costs don't outweigh the benefits.
Yes, that's it.
Or I want to add a line item to the definition of mistakes.
Hey, yeah.
Right, since we just going to accumulate the, you know, our definition here.
And I would totally agree to that, because it didn't work. It taught me many of things. Like, it taught me, like, you can move under the right circumstances. Mm-hmm. So if this is to happen again, if I really, like, pray about it first and God directs me to go to another state, I know I can do that. Mm-hmm. Like, I know what it takes to kind of do that. And it also taught me to really stand on my own feet, because at that point, I don't have anybody out there. Like, I'm literally out there by myself, and people would question me all the time, like, North Carolinians, I don't know the word, whatever, but
people who reside in North Carolina.
People who are from North Carolina, they're like natives. They don't leave, they go to college there, like, they're just there. And they have a lot of pride in that, which is really cool, but they would ask me, like, why are you here? Like, how did you get here? Like, did you go to school? I'm like, no. So they like, so why are you here, bro? So I got a lot of that. So really trying to stand on my own 2 feet and making a way for myself was really helpful. And also, like, having to go out by myself. I think that's where it started for me. I do this a lot now, but I had to there because I didn't know anybody. So I would just get in my car, drive to Raleigh, go to bars and stuff just by myself. And I do that now. I transferred that skill to at home. Like, if people are busy or I just want to go somewhere, like, I don't have a problem with being outside by myself. So some of that, I mean, it wasn't all in vain. I would not do this again. Like, I wouldn't do it that way again. So like I said, if God directed me where he wanted me to go, I would do it that way. But like really doing it like, oh, I'm out of here, I'm running away. Like, I wouldn't do it that way again. No. Yeah, because that was not fun. And Sherry knows, like, we would talk every other day, and I'd be like, yeah, I'm just going to go to sleep so I can come home. Like, I know that home is coming up, so I'm just going to try to rush these 24 hours to be home.
Maybe it made you appreciate home. You know, maybe it was like, Milwaukee,
you know what? It absolutely did. I'm glad you brought that up. And I think I blogged about that once I came home. Like, you know, before leaving, you know, people would have their negative thoughts about Milwaukee, and a lot of people were jumping ship moving to Dallas. A lot of people from Milwaukee were just leaving. Like, oh, I hate Milwaukee. Like, it's such a crabs in a barrel type of place, and, you know, I hate this place. But that's really any city. And the city is only going to be what you make of it. So I did come home with a lot of respect for, you know, our school systems, what the city was doing as far as, like, improvement, what the city was doing for young professionals. Like, I really came back with a different mindset. Like, I really like Milwaukee, and I think it's dope that I'm from there. Like, it's a really great city.
You probably want to got you a daggone Milwaukee home.
Listen. Okay. Well, I had one out there that I was wearing, like, every day. Like, I just want to go home.
There's no place like home.
I was like Dorothy. Like, there is no place like home. I just want to go home every day. But it does make you think, like, Milwaukee is not that bad. It was that bad because I wasn't doing anything to make it any better. Like, I wasn't trying to be the change or, you know, be a part of something that was happening. But since coming home, like, just being active and really going out in the city and seeing the city for what it is absolutely made me have a greater love for the city.
Yeah, true indeed.
Yeah. So that was mistake number one. I got to plenty.
Girl, go ahead.
But that was definitely the main one that sticks out of my head. And I know we talk about this a lot, like our friend group, me, you, Nadia, Lakeisha, Scarlett. Like, we always talk all the time, like, college life. And since it's the class of 2020, shout out to everybody graduating.
Shouts out to the class of 2020, child.
But to all of you youngins that have gotten accepted into all these wonderful HBCUs or any school that you wanted to go to, make sure you're making the right choice for you. Like, doing it for you and being smart about it, because college is not free. They are businesses and you have to pay into that. So really being aware of that. But thinking back to my own college experience, we were both in a program at Marquette called Upward Bound, which is for, like, first generation college students, or going to be first generation college students in low income families. So I met the qualifications for both of those. Single mom, no money, first generation. Here we go. Check. So I was in there. So throughout the program, you know, we got introduced to campus life. We would go to Marquette every summer. So, you know, going to Marquette that's not what I wanted to do, because we had been on that campus every summer. So it's just like, I don't care about Marquette. Like, I know this school, like, whatever. Like, I'm not going there. I knew it in my heart that I was not going there. So when senior year came around, we had to apply to, like, at least one or two, like, in-state schools or something. And we can apply to however many we wanted. And the program that we're in, we're paying for our, like, application fees, right? Yeah. So we like, shoot, y'all paying, I'm going to apply it everywhere I can, because I don't have to pay any of these app fees, which can add up, young people, so keep that in mind.
Girl, how old are we, young people?
I mean, I'm 33, so I feel like I can say young people now.
Young people.
I'm so young, too. But those can add up when you first generation. You ain't got no money, so yeah. But I applied to a bunch of schools, Marquette, UW Parkside, I don't know. But my top picks were, like, HBCUs, like Norfolk State, FAMU. Like, I just knew I was going to FAMU. Like, it was in my head, I'm going there. This is it. And yeah, I did not end up going there because the financial aid was awful. Again, you have a mom who did not go to college. She doesn't know anything about this process or what that looks like. And what she saw Marquette give me, she was like, oh, you going there. Like, this is it. This looks good to me. Like, I don't have to take out any Parent Plus loans or anything like that. Like, just go here. And, you know, my mom was like, I don't want you to leave. Like, she was worried, like, how are you going to get there? And all this stuff. And I'm working at Marshall Fields at the time, which is now Macy's for you young people who may not know that. But I'm working there every day, like, trying to get all the hours I can. Like, I'm going to work. I'm going to stack some money. I'm buying stuff for my dorm at FAMU. Like, I'm getting out of here. Like, I'm going. I don't care. Deuces. I was out. But then, you know, talking to my mom, she's crying. She's like, dude, we just cannot pay for that. Like, we can't afford it. So I'm like, okay, well, guess my dreams are over. So contacted, Chandar. Shout out to Chandar.
Yeah, shout out to Chandar.
Yeah,
Okay.
Chandar saved our lives.
Yay, Chandar.
We are forever grateful for
Goodness.
you, Chandar. He absolutely was our Superman. He swooped in, and me and my mom went to meet with him, and I'm like, look, I know it's late. We supposed to be in the EOP program at this point, but I don't know what I'm going to do. I need to get into this school. I need Marquette to now. They accepted me already, but now I need y'all to know in this EOP program, which is a branch of the Upper Bound program, that I want to be a part of this now because I need this grant to pay for school. So Chandar worked his magic. We got in. We didn't have to do the summer program. Thank you, Jesus. But we got in, and, Sherry and I were roommates again. Thank you, Jesus.
Yes, Lord.
That, things worked out for us.
We was the only black people.
The only black
on that
people.
floor. Oh, no, actually, there was that one girl. I can't think of her name. But child.
We was one of few that got to roommate together, and we were both black, and we knew each other, and we were, bliggity black, so that was great. But yeah, I always think, looking at all the debt that I have, even with all those grants and, all those things that Marquette gave so graciously, my debt is still real crazy. So I'm like, I just could have took out those loans and went where I was happy. And I still hold that in my heart. I should have just went. Because if I'm going to be $100K in debt going there, and I didn't even graduate from Marquette. So that's another thing. I didn't graduate from there. I could have just went to FAMU and been happy and just lived my best life. So that's definitely something that I always think about still to this day. Eventually I got my degree, so I don't really care. I got the paper at the end of the day. But I think it would have been a good experience to have been down there.
I agree. I think that people that go to HBCUs, they go back to their homecoming.
Yeah.
They have so much pride. They still wear their alumni, Perry and all of that. And me, I just drive right by Marquette, couldn't care less. Throw up the deuces sometimes. Sometimes I don't even realize I'm driving by because I could care less.
Yeah.
Right? I'm just not attached to the campus. And I love Marquette, right? I love what it has done for me. I think that it's been very beneficial, but myself, like you, thought I was going to FAMU.
Yeah.
And I actually wrote Marquette a letter saying, thank you very much for accepting me. However, please give this award to the next deserving student because Sherry Renee will be at Florida Agricultural and Mechanical University.
Yes,
honey.
Lord.
Okay, so that's what I did. And then I called Chandar after you did because you gave your girl the scoop. And I said, well, let me see what Chandar can do for me. And Chandar said, oh, look who came crawling back on her ashy little knees, thinking she was going to a black school.
Ooh.
But here you are.
Here you go.
And like you said, we somehow got to waive the summer program.
Yeah.
And somehow I was so late because I would not give up on FAMU that I'm actually, on my transcript, it has me listed as a transfer student.
Wow.
Because that's how late your girl was. But I think my mistake was holding on to what was already gone. You know what I mean? I think my mistake during that time was not accepting my state of being and making the most of it. Yeah. I had a grudge for 4 whole years at Marquette where I didn't even engage. You know what I mean? I roll by and don't care about Marquette because I wasn't present when I was there. Yep. You know what I mean? I didn't do my best academically there. I didn't really go to any of the functions. I didn't really engage in the campus until senior year where I was like, well, dang, I guess I'm here now. I can't transfer because nobody's going to take, all of these credits. Right. You have to declare residency at a school, so you're not going to take everything. So I think my mistake was not just letting it go and just being like, you know what, I'm here. What does Marquette have for me? Because number one, I actually wanted to go to Marquette. It was at the last minute where I was like, girl, I'm tired of being the only black one. I'm going to a black school. And then on Facebook, I would see all my Rufus King girls, shouts out to y'all, being at FAMU, living their best life. Okay, y'all. Doing everything that I wanted to do. Yes, yeah. But I could have did everything that I wanted to do at Marquette, and I just didn't.
And that's a great point that you made. I think, holding on to it made us miss out, on what was right in front of us, literally.
Even, I made everything so negative. I remember even, one of the things that Marquette does every year for the freshmen is they have a square dance, which, of course, is white AF, but that's what they do because it's a PWI. And so I remember even going there, and I got separated from y'all from, I don't know, maybe 5 minutes, and I was like, oh my God, like there was a sea of white
Oh,
people,
right.
and I saw India, shouts out to you, and she and I hugged each other. I'd never met India, didn't know India, met her there, and she got separated from her group too, and we just saw each other, ran to each other, and hugged each other, and did not let go.
See?
Because
y'all held hands, like, we gonna find our people
me
now.
and you should never fought, okay? Ever.
See?
And I think that, we could have made the square dance black.
You
know what I mean? Like, we could have had fun with that.
Yeah, we could have done a lot of things. Like, me and Scarlett talked, shout out to Scarlett, about, like, doing a radio show on campus. Like,
I mean, we could have been the first black
about.
Whatever,
Absolutely.
probably, at Marquette if we really would have just tried.
But
no,
tried.
What did we do? We went on Facebook, requested everybody from FAMU to be our daggone friend, talked to them every day about how we could get there. I called them, I sent letters, I kept trying to do transfer, like I just wouldn't let it go.
That is absolutely what we did. Like being
in when FAMU stabbed me in the back.
Oh yeah.
And sent my account to collection saying that I owed them the first semester of tuition, room, and board.
Yeah.
That's when I was like, F you.
Yeah. F you. Right.
Like, how dare you? And then when they took my scholarship money and didn't give it back to junior year, that's when I was like, okay, maybe not. And then I will say too, after I was reading all the different posts about student life at FAMU, and when somebody commented and said that they had roaches, I said, now let me tell you something here.
Yeah.
Marquette had some spiders. Yes, they did. They had some transparent, translucent spiders, okay? So them things will, right, but we did not have roaches.
Yeah.
And that's where I have to draw the line, because I don't even like to deal with spiders.
Yeah, no.
I would shoot a spider. That's why I don't conceal and carry.
And we would have died.
I would shoot a spider.
Yeah.
So I would have died if I would have literally had roaches in my dorm.
Yeah.
That's what I'm not gonna do. That's when I was like, you know what? I'm done. Marquette, we are Marquette. I bought all the paraphernalia. I said, blue and gold to the day I die. Your girl is a golden eagle.
Yes.
Okay, a golden eagle.
Forever.
Forever. That's when I went Marquette all the way in. And then I joined NSBE. Shouts out to the National Society of Black Engineers. And that's when senior year was the best year of my life at Marquette.
Nice.
Because that's when I gave up FAMU.
Yeah.
And I said, girl, you are here. What can you do here?
Yeah. Letting it go.
Set it free.
Set it free and let it go, child. Yeah. And see, my experience was a little different because I ended up having a kid, like, junior year? Yeah, junior year at Marquette. So I ended up leaving school and then transferring to another small college here, which is where I graduated from. And once I got there, it was like my life was different. So I didn't care anything about college stuff because at this point, I'm somebody's mama. Like, let me focus on.
You said, no, I'm not going to the party with you.
I was like, I don't even care about college no more. I'm trying to finish so I could be a mama and do well. So, but that I think you brought up some really great points of just letting it go. So while I think about it, and in the end of it all, we have our degrees. Like, does it matter where we got it from? Not really. It doesn't really matter. But I think what I missed out on, I'm going to assume, which I don't even know. Like, it could have been, who knows what it could have been like. But I think the experience of it all is what I'm missing. And we've gone to people's homecoming, so we know what that is like. But it's different when you're just visiting the homecoming versus if this is your alma mater.
Yeah,
it's like,
when
okay.
they be like, hey, you, I'll be like, dang.
Right.
You know.
Right.
I want to, but I don't know.
You got to fake know.
Right.
I
don't know, but I don't know. Okay.
Hey.
But in any case, I think that what I had to let go of was the dream, right? So I had an assumption. Like you said, we don't know. My assumption was, man, if I go to a black school, I'm going to be surrounded by black excellence all the time, which I think is true. Right?
Yeah.
I also assume that, I'm going to meet a bunch of amazing, intelligent black men, and when one of them act up, it don't matter.
Because it's another one.
Right, it's
15 minutes later.
And it's another one. Right, missed one. What the
heck? Next one, 15, one coming.
Exactly. That's exactly what I thought. Right?
For sure.
But then, and I was thinking like, like, there's nobody at Marquette, and, whatever. And then, people say you meet your husband in college or whatever, right? All of that. So I think that I had a dream. But then when I look back now, some people did. But there's a lot of people that went to FAMU and other HBCUs.
Yeah, that's still single.
Exactly. Right?
Exactly.
And then when I was writing some of those young men at FAMU, and they said that FAMU was holding on to their degree until they paid off all of this debt, which they don't even recall. They don't agree with the balance.
Oh, Lord.
And they were trying to dispute that. Then I said, maybe your girl didn't do so bad.
That's
at Marquette, because at least I agree on the numbers.
Yeah, listen, the numbers.
I don't like the numbers,
right? But we do
agree. The numbers are what they are.
I feel that. I definitely feel that. So that is, definitely.
And I think that sometimes you have to get clear on what the purpose or the intent is, right? Like, okay, I wanted to go, I wanted to get a degree, I wanted to graduate. Did I do those things? Yes.
Absolutely. And like you said, letting go of the dream aspect of it. Because I think, we both and we all went into it like, we're going to find our husband, like, we're going to have a good time. Like, we were thinking about the wrong stuff. For me personally, I won't include you in that. But Chanel was thinking about the wrong stuff. Like, I'm a kick it.
I wanted to live. Let me tell y'all something. I had a boyfriend at the time, and I literally, when I thought I was going to FAMU, your girl broke up with him. And then when I found out I had to stay, I was like, so I guess we still together. That's kind of where I was in my 18-year-old life.
It was about to turn
And I literally
up.
only stayed with him because I was still there, which is a sign that I probably should have just still broke up.
Lord, that might be one of your mistakes.
Oh, yeah. Girl, that was a mistake. Like never before, Jesus. Okay? We need a new word. I don't even think mistake covers. That word isn't broad enough to cover the damage, that was done.
We're going to create a new word for this.
We need a new word, because mistake ain't it.
Lord.
But I think just, I think that's where the discontentment and the resentment is when you just don't let it go.
Yeah, when you don't let it go,
when
for sure.
Can't accept it for what it is and just say, like, I wonder if I went to spend 3 years trying to get to FAMU, how great of a time would I would have had at Marquette? Because if I'm honest, we used to go and visit Governor, shouts out to him, in Madison every weekend, and Governor had the time of his life at UW-Madison.
Absolutely.
Okay? The time of his life.
Absolutely.
And I had time of my life every Friday and Saturday with him.
And that's all I'm saying. And that's a great point. Like, really looking to what was right in front of us. Because even me, like, just Greek life, like, I had opportunities to do it, like, sophomore year. And I was just like, no, like, I'm not going to do it. So it's just like, if I would have done the things that were right in front of me at that time, like, my experience would have been a lot different. And I probably would have graduated with my class and my friends, and I probably wouldn't have gotten pregnant. But, hey, who knows?
Hey, here we are.
Here we are. So, who knows? But, yeah, just definitely letting it go and then just enjoying what you have right in front of you.
Right, and not overlooking it. And not saying, like, you know what? One thing that my friend Brianna told me when I was sitting there going back and forth about wanting to go to FAMU, she told me, I don't know what the stats are now, so we're talking about back then, right? But maybe it was 2007 or 2008, and she said only 25% of the population has a bachelor's degree. You should feel privileged to be able to be a college student. What a gift it is.
Amen.
To be able. Now, I mean, I don't know what it is now. I'm assuming that the number is probably a lot larger, but back then it was 25%. And being first generation, like, girl, you should have been glad to go anywhere.
Exactly. That's all I'm saying.
Absolutely. Like, don't get me wrong. I never think people should settle. But hey, you put forth your best effort to get to FAMU. It did not work out.
Absolutely.
You should have been like, what a gift it is. Let me do my very best. Because I'm trying to change the trajectory of my family's life. I am the first one in my family to go to college, and I just couldn't get there. I literally just, in my mind, could not let it go. Yeah,
I definitely agree. And then to think about, like, Marquette is a powerhouse school in its own right. Like, it's, an acclaimed school. To even have been accepted to that school.
Exactly.
For me, was, like, a huge triumph because, I mean, I was glad they, like, looked at our transcripts, like, based on, the important core subjects and not, like, Spanish and some other classes that I took where I was just like, I can't pass this stuff. So for me to have even gotten accepted to that school was an amazing feat. Like, I was very proud of that, to be honest with you.
I was, too. I was very proud.
Like, people was like, what schools you got accepted to? I'm telling everybody, like, I got in this school and this school. Like, my family was proud. Like, she got into Marquette. Like, that's great. And I'm like, is it though? But it really was.
It really was. I think that what happened to us is we allowed it to become common. Because we had been there for 4 years. And we were there not only summer, but we were also there during the week. Scarlett and I would walk from Rufus King to Marquette every single day.
Oh, no.
Every single day. We would walk, because we, they was handing out stipends.
Mm-hmm.
We
were going
to do study hall. Exactly. We were trying to get our stipend, But I think that's the problem, right? Is that sometimes when you have something so familiar, you minimize it and make it common.
Yep.
But it is such a privilege and a gift for them to even, number one, admit us, for them to, even have the Upper Brown program on their campus, and also for them to have the EOP program, so it's almost like, I kind of feel like, dang, how dare you do that, because when it really comes down to it, fam, you only gave me $2,000 in loans.
Same. Mm-hmm.
That's it.
Same. That's exactly
I'm talking not a grant. And then they took my scholarship money that I earned from, shouts out to the McDonald's House of Charity for giving your girl a scholarship. I was looking at some old stuff last night and I saw that scholarship and I was like, oh yeah, I forgot I even had that. But
I think I had a Pell Grant too. But that was it.
I mean, when I tell you that they gave me nothing, they was like, you gonna have to come up with all this money on your own. Yeah. Good day.
For sure. When my mama saw that, like, immediate
tears. And then when I tell you that, like, even when I would call them, they would answer the phone like, hello. And I'm like, are y'all fam, you or not? Like, can you put some professionalism in your voice? I need you to be like, hello, thank you for calling admissions for the Agricultural and Mechanical University. Something.
A mess.
A hot mess.
That's all mess.
So, I mean...
Yeah.
I don't know. I regret not making the most of those pivotal years in my life. And I think that has been sort of a theme with me, in some other regards, of just not willing to just accept what is, surrender, let it go, make the most of it, and know that you still have the power to get clear on the goal. Yeah. You know what I mean? Are you still able to achieve the goal? Maybe stop being married to the process or being married to the specifics and be married to just the outcome. Mm-hmm. I want to graduate. Yeah. I want to do well. I want a degree. Get those things done. You know what I mean? Yep. Like, don't be married to where you are and how you going to do it. Because, truth be told, undergrad was very difficult for me. I was reading my diary from 2008 last night. Mm-hmm. Your girl was struggling, okay? I mean, I'm talking, I was working 3 jobs. Mm-hmm. School was kicking my butt. And I feel like I added an extra layer of pressure to myself by not just accepting where I am. Because, I mean, you already, and then, like, girl, in 2008, I got real sick. Like, I didn't show up to any of my exams. Like, I was writing about it in my diary because I thought I had this, I had a health scare, to make a long story short. And I'm like, you added so much extra stress in your life by being dissatisfied. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, you already ain't got no money. Girl. You already the only black kid everywhere. You already having health issues. And now you're going to be ungrateful on top of that.
And at that time, we, like, had this wonderful idea to move off campus and live in apartments. Oh, God. I don't know who we thought we were trying to do any of this.
I think we wanted to centralize our blackness because we all lived together.
We did.
We was like, we can all live we'll be next door neighbors.
That's what happened.
And I mean, I don't necessarily regret that. Mm-hmm. Shouts out to South Hall, which became apartment, was it 502?
Yeah, something like that. Was it 502?
On 7th?
Yeah.
On South 17th Street?
Yes. It was lit though.
North 17th Street?
Yes. Because we was like the first people to live in there once they transitioned it to an apartment
fully
building.
Renovated. Yeah. I mean, rent was dirt cheap. But in my diary, there were times where I did my budgets. And it's so funny because... Like, I was really trying to, I was like, I gotta pay this bill, Okay, I have $25 left. That has to last me 2 weeks.
Yes!
Like, that's literally, what was going on. And it's funny because those bills that I was trying to pay, I wish I had those bills today, God. Because your girl would kill it.
Okay. And I'm trying to think, how was I paying? How? How?
Girl, I know how I was. I had 3 jobs.
And I only had 1, so I'm like, how? How?
Well, maybe you probably had a refund check.
That had to be it. Because I'm like, what? How was I surviving?
Girl. But, I mean, those were hard times. But I think that, And then too, you know, as I was reading my diary, I was always like, in 2009 when I graduated, I you know, it was the recession, and so I was trying to figure out how to get a job, and I would always be like, oh, I applied to this job last night, I really hope I get it. They pay $13. You know what I mean? Like, this one is $15. God, do it going, you know,
because see what you've done for us.
Right, because that's where I was, and that's, you know, what I aspired to. And I would be so defeated when I would get those rejection emails, and I regret basking in that defeat, because if I would have known what was on the other side, like, girl, you crying over a $15 an hour job, like, but you ended up getting something way better than that. You know what I mean? Like, you were looking for another job, but now God bless you with a full-blown career.
Absolutely.
But so I think too, it's just realizing that wherever you are now can change.
Absolutely, and I agree.
And it's only a matter of time.
Yep.
You know?
Yeah.
So I think that was one of my mistakes.
Yeah, same for me. And, you know, finally letting go of that family dream, leaving Marquette, but then still having that fight to be like, you need to finish somewhere. And then going to a school that was more suited for my life at that time. So getting
and realizing okay, I need something different.
Yeah. So getting the support I needed, and, you know, being able to take my kid to class or just being on campus was really great for me. And it hurt like hell, like in process, like doing it, like all my friends graduated, like I'm still in school this fall. But then
girl, your friends still ain't had no jobs. So your girl graduated, but she still ain't had. My job was the same.
We always think the grass is greener,
right? Exactly.
Always. But then one of my mentors, shout out to Miss Vicky, who also graduated from the school I graduated from, and she was like, follow your own time. Like, don't worry about anybody else's.
Shout out to Miss Vicky.
Yeah, like, you're following your own path at your own time. Like, just follow that and know that it will come to an end at some point, but just follow your own time and stop comparing your clock to everybody else's.
Amen.
And once I got that in my head, like, okay, whatever, like, I get it. I still went on the trip with y'all when y'all graduated, so that was fun.
Hey, graduation trip, 2010.
Yes, I still
Miami Beach.
Miami.
We was out there. Oh, Lord. Toughing it, okay?
Toughing it out. Lord Jesus.
During a recession, but we was like, we still gonna do our graduation. Just to do a big trip.
Do a big
it's funny
trip.
I talked about that in my diary. I called it the do a big trip.
That's what we all called it.
Do it big
like,
trip.
we was in line with our do it big trip.
I think that's because back then we used to watch Boondocks, and they had they do a big trip, and they did it like Big Pimpin', like Jay-Z style. Like, that is so funny.
But hey, and I still went and had a good time, and, you know, my friends were still there for me when I graduated, and we you know, it was good. So following my own clock, so that's definitely something that, you know, thinking about it now obviously makes a lot of sense, that maybe things didn't go their course because I was not following my own clock. I was trying to follow somebody else's.
Indeed.
So yeah, there was that mistake or regret. But I mean, I don't necessarily think that was a mistake in our definition that we just came up with, because if we think about the goals, like you said, like, what is the goal? To graduate from school, to get your degree, you know, to do those things, and I checked those off. So
check.
It happened, not in the time I wanted it. So I think that's where, you know, the issue comes from. Like, I was wanting it to be like this, or I had this idea in my head, and it did not go that way. But God is funny like that. You draw a straight line.
God be like, just effing with you.
Right. Like,
you ain't doing this how you thought you was.
No. Like, you keep trying to do stuff your way, I got something for you.
I think one of my biggest mistakes was what I sort of alluded to, which was, you know, I was willing to break up with dude if I was leaving. And I was like, sorry, it's not me. It's that, you know, I'm going to be all the way in Florida. It's not you. It ain't me. It's really FAMU. You know, blame FAMU. Gotta go.
Them.
Bye.
Listen.
Right? And then, you know, when I was still here, then it was like, yeah, I guess. You
right.
know. So I think one of my mistakes is not realizing that when you attach yourself to someone that doesn't serve you, you create and launch a cycle. You know, you create a pattern that you then become familiar and accustomed to, and you will spend time trying to get out. And I didn't know what I was doing. I think at the time I just wanted what was comfortable or what was easy, even though it made, even just being, I remember when we went to an orientation, somebody said, how many of y'all are in a relationship? And I was like, me. And she was like, girl, you won't be by this time next year. And I was like, you don't know me?
Right.
But apparently she did. Apparently she knows me very well. Because when I tell you that first year college, freshman year was hell on wheels. It was hell. And I was on to something when I was willing to let him go. I think that a part of me knew this doesn't serve me. But because I was here and because it was so familiar, right? Because like you said, we were at Marquette every summer. I was at Marquette every day. So to me, it's like, well, this is my normal routine. I'm still at Marquette, right? I'm still here. So he was there the whole time. So hey, why not continue? But I didn't realize the detriment of the attachment and what happens when you allow yourself to just be comfortable. You know?
Yeah.
So I think that is definitely a mistake.
Absolutely, because it stunts your growth or your ability to like do more because you're set in that way. You're like,
I was totally stagnant.
Yeah.
And one thing that I know now that I didn't know then is that whenever you aspire to do something different or acquire something new, you have to evolve into the person that's able to have that thing, right? So I couldn't do college the way I did high school, and I feel like I tried to do college the way I did high school, and it just didn't work, right? And I definitely didn't do grad school the way I did undergrad. That's for sure. Yeah. So I don't think, I think that because I stayed at Marquette, I thought it was the same. Yeah. And I think I was willing to evolve to go to FAMU. Because I think in my mind that's different. Like I'm going away to college. Like this is what college looks like. People go away to college. But at Marquette it's still home. It's still familiar. It's still the same in my mind. So I didn't evolve. And I think that's why freshman year especially was so difficult for me.
Yeah, and that's true.
Because I was willing to let go to go to FAMU. I was like, I'm breaking up with him. I'm packing. I'm doing this. I'm doing like, I'm out.
Fresh start.
Right. Get like me. Yes. You know, I was just done.
Fresh start.
But since I was here, I was like, well, I guess I can do the same.
It's norm. Yeah, it was comfortable.
It was comfortable.
Yeah.
And I was listening to a guy who said, Michael Beckworth, he said, you know, life naturally evolves. So if you stay the same, you've actually went backwards. Life naturally progresses and evolves. If you are the same as you were last year, you're deteriorating. And I don't think I realized that until, I'd even say sophomore year, your girl was still trying to do the same. It wasn't until like junior year, according to my diary in 2008, I wrote out my grades and I said, these are the best grades that I've had this whole time that I was at Marquette. And they wasn't even that tight. If I'm just going to be honest, they wasn't even that tight. First of all. And like I did so much better in high school, you know. But again, your girl wasn't willing to evolve because I said, well, if I'm going to be here, I just like went into a sunken place. Yeah. Like I'm just. I wasn't even grateful. I didn't consider it a privilege to be there. And if I would have, then I think I would have grown up. I would have said, girl, you can't be out here like this.
For sure. Do this. Yeah. So we kind of just roll with it. Like, all right, well, if I'm going to be here, I'm going to just exist.
Yeah, like, I was totally existing.
And that's it. And that's very true. Like, we kept it the same. Like, we had no transition between, like, Upper Bound and then, like,
we didn't even do the daggone EOP.
And we didn't. And that might have helped us.
We didn't even do the summer transition program. Yeah. We just slid in by the grace of Shandar and God. And
that's probably why.
And showed up and felt almost entitled.
Absolutely. Because it didn't. There was no change for me either freshman year. Like, we got there. And in Upper Bound, we don't see classes. Like, we didn't understand the value of time and time management because we didn't see that in the program. Like, we can only see so much on this campus life.
Well, we only saw our classes.
Right. But it wasn't none compared to, like, the time that you have in college and how to manage that time that you have in going to classes. So when that stuff was happening, it was like, I don't need to go to class. Well, at least for me, I was napping like a mug. So.
I mean, I got up and went to class, you know, but I wasn't present. I wasn't connected to the class. It wasn't until like junior year that I was like, I'm coming first. I'm sitting in the front row. This professor gonna know my name. I'm studying. I'm doing the office hours. Like, I'm doing it. Like, I'm acting like a student. You know, as my mom would say, if you're gonna do something, act like you doing it. So that's when I was like, I'm gonna act like I'm a student. Right. Before then, I was like, whatever. Yeah. I was just breezing through. I was just like, what? I wasn't putting forth no effort. But I saw somebody wrote this post. So there is a group for people that are adopting seniors, the class of 2020 that you gave your toast to. And somebody said, you know, now, incoming freshmen, you're going to see a lot of 8 a.m. classes. Ooh. And you're going to think to yourself, I got up at 8 a.m. for 4 years. I can do this. It was like, that's the devil. Don't you dare. That's the devil talking to you. Ooh. Don't give in to it. Don't. Rebuke that thought.
Especially the 8 a.m. Monday, Wednesday, Friday.
Girl. No. There were some classes that I did miss. Now, I will say this, statistics. I was like, your girl did statistics 1 and 2 at Rufus King and graduated with honors. Hello, somebody. So I don't need to go to statistics. I showed up on day 1. They was going over meeting in mode. And I mean, it took them the whole hour and a half. So I said, I don't need to do this. Because what I'm not going to do is talk about meeting in mode for 90 minutes. Yeah, no. Your girl's got other stuff to do. I could be sleeping because remember, your girl used to work third shift. So it was hard. Yes. It was hard on me to be up there. I came back like, I don't know, maybe 3-4 weeks later. Girl, they was doing all kind of stuff that eyes have never seen and ears have never heard. And you was like, whoa. I was like, slow down, wait a minute. And you know what I mean? He was just jumping, just going. I'm like, but last time y'all spent a whole 90 minutes on me. I need that same energy. Listen. For these, like, what are y'all doing?
You definitely underestimated the scope and sequence. Yeah. Like, whoa.
But after that, your girl never missed another class.
Yeah, I was out. I would
go to class in my uniform. Like, I would get off at 6 a.m. and I would go right to class, do not pass go, because if so, I would go home and go to sleep. Yeah. So I would be like, I'm coming in my uniform. I don't care. I'm going to be here. I'm just going to sit here for 2 hours because that's safer than me going home and going to sleep.
Yeah, I was definitely out until I got a nice little notice from the Educational Opportunity Program, like, hey, you're on academic probation. And if you don't get your life, you're out.
You're out.
So once I got that friendly kick in the butt, I was like, let me get my life. Like, now is the time. So that was like second semester, sophomore year, junior year. Like, then I really started to get college and understand that, you know, we're here. Let me do what I need to do.
Yeah, I would agree. There was one semester where I did 9 credits because I thought I could just drop whatever wasn't working for me. And Marquette was like, so in order to maintain full-time status, you must do a minimum. This is minimum. That means these are the minimum requirements that you must do. You must do 12 credits. Oh, yes. Minimum.
Class you 2020 don't do that either.
Yeah, they was like, you did 9. Don't let that shit happen again. That's what I feel like they said in their letter.
Got a nice little kick in the butt. Like, first of all,
because we will kick you out.
Listen, you are not a full-time student at this time.
Not
Get
right
your
now.
life. So, yeah. Don't do that, freshman. Don't try to drop classes like, all right, no. You need to be 12 credits.
The girl was dropping like it was hot.
Listen, this doesn't serve
like,
me.
This doesn't work for me.
This class doesn't serve me.
I don't know.
Listen, because it's so easy to do that in college. Like, nobody tells you.
And you just did it online.
Yeah, it's like,
and it dropped. They removed it, so I was like, cool.
Like, oh, no. So, yeah, definitely get my refund check, dropping all these classes. Like, I'm out. But class of 2020, don't do that.
Yeah, because your girl was like, bye.
Yeah, bye.
And then Marquette was like, we gonna tell you bye.
No, no, real. Get your life. Marquette was good about the friendly shade. Like, get your life real quick. So
they was like, we are Marquette. We are not dropouts.
Yeah, no.
That ain't what we do here. We're not in that. That's not our mission.
No, be the change.
Be the difference. Okay, be the difference. You being the same, we trying to get you to be the difference.
No, that don't work. You don't serve us.
Exactly. Like, you're making us
right. No, you're out.
But yeah,
that's
mistakes.
Mistakes. That was a big one. But I feel like now in our lives, so I'm 33 now. Do I still make mistakes? Sure. I do.
Right.
The difference is, I think we've been on the same page with, I don't hold on to stuff. Like, maybe now at this point in my life, I'm just like, I made a mistake. Let me learn from it and not make this mistake again and just keep going. Like, it's no holding on to it at this point.
I feel like some mistakes, I can't afford them anymore.
Yeah.
You know, like, that's why I always go back and read my diaries, because I'd be like, so we did this before, we're not doing this again.
Yeah.
You know? Like, I was reading shouts out to the 2008 diary. There was a guy that I was talking to back then, and like I was just writing about him, and he reminded me about a dude that I was talking to now. And like I didn't realize it, but the dude that I was talking to, and by now I mean not no more, so like let's say a week ago.
Yeah, previously.
I was like, there's a familiarity. There's a, what's the word I'm trying to say? When you've seen it before, deja vu.
Oh, deja vu.
There's like a deja vu here. So I'm reading it, and it popped up, and it reminded me of him, 2008, him, so this guy from 2008, I met him when I was in high school. And I started talking to him like when I first got to college. So, and then, I guess 2008. So, no.
That was like junior year.
Maybe that was junior year. Okay. And so, yeah. And I was just like, you know what? No, we already did this 2008.
Yeah.
We ain't doing this no more.
Can't go backwards.
Because I think one of the things that we need to get to a point to where it's like, okay, if you've already learned the lesson, you don't need to learn the lesson again.
No, you don't, because that's insanity.
It's insanity.
So.
And then not only that, but we need to actually evolve to the point where if Chanel learns the lesson, Sherry Renee don't need to learn the lesson.
Yeah, no.
Because you did it for both of us.
Right.
Okay.
You shared out, I know.
Yeah,
so.
you told me,
hey,
I get it, I understand, I was there. Like, you don't need to suffer, and then 6 months later, I'm suffering with the same thing that you already suffered with. Like, we need to evolve as a community.
Right.
Right? We need to evolve as a group. We need to evolve as a circle. Right?
Absolutely.
So that's just kind of, I think that's kind of where I am with it. Is when I saw that, I was just like, nope, it's not, my future self would not thank me for this right now. So we just gonna
cut it off
and move
completely.
On. Snip, snip.
And that makes sense. Like, trying to do something over and over and over, expecting different results, is we already know what that is, and it just doesn't work. And at some point, you have to be tired of that for yourself. Like, I'm so sick of doing this to myself.
And remember, I sent you a video. I forgot what it was called, and you wrote back, and you were like, it wasn't trauma bonds. What did you say?
Was that yesterday?
Yeah.
What she said? Wound mates. Wound mates.
So this woman,
that was so sick.
She was discussing compatibility. And she talked about the different elements of compatibility, and your girl does not remember what they are, so I can't say them to you.
It was like RISES was the acronym.
Rise.
Yeah, it was RISES, because the last one was like sexual. Of course, I remember that one.
Listen.
Hey. My favorite one. No, I was kidding. But it was RISES. I don't remember what the other ones was, too. It was like, what's that called? I can't think of the word. Like, when you do fun stuff.
Do stuff together.
Yeah.
Like adventures or whatever.
Yeah, I can't think of the word. The R word for that. And then E was like emotional. And then S was spiritual. I was intellect.
Okay.
Where am I at? R. Wait, what did I say? R-I-S-E-S.
So R is some synonym for... Recreational. Okay.
I was intellect. S was spiritual. E was emotional. And then the last S was sexual.
Okay. So those are the 5 levels of... Is that 5? I don't know. I wasn't counting.
No.
But...
Compatibility.
Okay. Those are... Yes. And so she was saying how, a lot of times some people are circles and they fit into squares.
Oh, yeah, that was good.
And so it's like a one-way compatibility, but the square still has open spaces, so they're not fulfilled.
Yeah, needs are being
this relationship isn't serving them. And so she said a lot of times we will attach ourselves to people that we're not compatible with. Maybe we have one thing in common. Maybe it's just sexual.
Yep.
Maybe it's just intellectual. Maybe they're, but it also depends on what you need, because some people don't need all those 5 things.
Yeah,
I don't know if it's 5 or not, but some people don't need all of them. So if like recreation isn't your thing and both of y'all don't care about recreation, cool, it don't matter. Yeah. Throw it out. But she said that a lot of times when we attach ourselves to someone, it's either to evolve and grow with them, or it's to do some more healing. So whatever we didn't learn from the first time, now is your chance to learn it again. Amen. So sometimes you do have wound mates. And so now I feel like, oh boy, from last week is wound mate.
It would have been a wound mate.
Right.
Absolutely. Because you feel comfortable. Like, that would have been the comfort. So, and I've got some roommates too where I'm just like, nah.
It's like, nah, bro. Because 2008 Sherry Renee is gone. She died. Remember last year? We killed her.
She died.
We was at the Woman Involved conference.
Listen, 2008, 9, 10, 11, 12.
Sherry Renee arose.
Listen.
So we ain't got time for that.
All my old Chanel's is dead and gone, and here we are. So, but no, I thought that was really good. Maybe I'll do an episode on that. But I thought she was very good at how she made compatibility. But yeah, learning from your past mistakes and growing and not holding on to it. Mm-hmm. And I'm a big person where I'll just hold on to stuff like, oh, why did I do that? But no, you just gotta let it go and learn and grow and keep moving. Because like Sherry Renee said, life don't stop. Like it keeps going. And the only time life does stop is when you dead. So just keep living and keep going.
Even then, it still don't stop.
You stopped, but life
kept going.
Life didn't stop, child. So just keep going.
Yeah, and I'm like, I don't want to, like, in 6 months, I don't want to be writing in my diary.
Mm-hmm. Like, dear diary.
Right, about this dude.
Yeah.
You know, who I've already met in 2008. You know what I mean? Well, it wasn't necessarily him, but someone similar to him.
Like,
so,
in essence.
Right. I was just like, nope.
Yeah.
We got to evolve.
For sure. So, that's what this is all about. And again, everything is all relative or easier said than done. But I think for the most part, you have to be so over it yourself to really be like, all right.
You do. It's a decision that you got to make. And you have to be conscious of it. Mm-hmm. You know, you have to be able to say, you have to be able to discern. You know, and a lot of times I think that I was listening to a video on Patrice Washington did on her Instagram, and she said a lot of times women are acting like they're confused, and she was like, no, I'm doing this video right now. She was like, let me tell you something, you are not confused. Mm-hmm. You're playing confused so that you don't have to act, and you don't have to take responsibility, but you are not confused. Mm-hmm. You know what you need to do it.
That's good.
You know, and I was like,
that's good. On the real. But, read our whole life.
Right.
That's good.
Telling my whole life. Okay. But I think that confusion gives you an allowance. Mm-hmm. You get to say, well, I didn't know. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I'm going to justify this because I didn't know. But you knew because you asked. Mm-hmm. You knew because you did it in 2008.
I was just about to say, you did it before.
You knew because you wrote about it in 2008.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Girl.
You knew.
Yes. You always know.
You always know.
Mm-hmm.
So you're not confused. And when she said that, I was like, but sometimes you really do be confused. And then when she was like, you was not confused, I was like, okay. So she know that I'm trying to justify the confusion that I'm trying to bring, but God ain't a God of confusion. Okay, got it.
At all. She knew the masses was like,
she was like, no. Shut up.
Kill that noise. Right. Kill that.
I'm saying it again for the people in the back. You're not confused. You know what you need to do. Go do it.
I love that. Ooh. A whole lot of words, child.
Yes. Anything else on mistakes?
No. I don't have anything further. But, just keep going.
What goes in the to-go box?
My to-go box goes like this. In the words of my favorite show, one of my favorite shows, A Different World, relax, relate, and release. Like, just live by that and you'll be good. There's no time to dwell on mistakes or, past mistakes. Just relax, relate, and release that and keep going.
In my to-go box, I am putting the idea of not overlooking the beauty of what is in front of you. So not being so discontent and focused on what you don't have that you miss the opportunities and you miss the blessings that you have right in front of you. Mm-hmm.
That's good.
Thanks for tuning in to Brunch with Besties podcast. Until next time, peace.